Big Liverpool update. Liverpool are rocked by a huge Champions League blow, while Hugo Ekitike fires a cheeky dig at rivals. Plus, the latest on Mohamed Salah's return, Conor Bradley's surgery update, and Alexander Isak transfer talk. Don't miss it. Subscribe for daily Liverpool news. Hugo Ekitike aims pointed Liverpool dig at rivals with tongue-in-cheek jibe. Liverpool striker Hugo Ekitike has posted a self-deprecating joke about struggling against low-block defenses on Instagram as manager Arne discusses how teams change tactics against the Reds. Liverpool striker Hugo Ekitike has taken a swipe at Premier League rivals following their difficulties in breaking down defensive sides. The summer recruit has reiterated his exasperation with such cautious approaches, having previously made a comparable remark earlier in his time at Anfield. In an Instagram post, the ex-Eintracht Frankfurt forward shared a glimpse into his world through a collection of images. Among them was a humorous reference to low blocks being his Achilles heel. The image bore the caption, "Every legend has a weakness," depicting Samson, Achilles, and a figure labeled me with his vulnerability listed as the low block. Ekitike had previously shared an Instagram story featuring someone reading a how-to manual, which he'd edited to say, "How to face low block." The French international made his comeback to the matchday squad, having sat out the Liverpool's last two fixtures due to muscle discomfort, and found the net in a 4-1 FA Cup victory over Barnsley. Ekitike has emerged as an astute acquisition for the Reds, with the 23-year-old bagging 8 Premier League goals since seeing off competition from Newcastle United and Manchester United for his services. The dig follows Arne Slot's unexpected comments regarding Liverpool's match preparations and how opposing teams have adjusted their tactics to counteract the Premier League champions' strengths. He said, "Good win. That's not performance, but result. We wanted to go into the next round. 4 beautiful goals, shot from outside the box. It's not always easy to unlock a low block for any team in the world, but definitely not us. You have so many weapons. You have set pieces, as we see in the Premier League, shots outside the box, a 1v1, and in the end we saw with the third individual skill for Curtis, Hugo, and Flo. How difficult they made it for us, a game plan that looks similar to teams coming here. I think we've played 30 games. For 28 of my pre-match meetings I could throw in the bin. Only once or twice the team did what they did the 20 weeks before. Arsenal was one of them. Barnsley always plays a 4-3-3 and today decided to go with 5, which I can completely understand. I'd have done it if I was their manager as well. You try to show them what they can expect and what they usually do, but they did something different. They made it difficult for us." The Dutch boss has faced his most challenging spell in management following Liverpool's woeful form between September and November, which not only undermined their Premier League title challenge, but also cast doubt over their Champions League progression prospects. They've staged a remarkable recovery with an impressive 11-game unbeaten streak, propelling the Reds into pole position for a top 4 finish and bringing them tantalizingly close to securing automatic qualification for the knockout stages of Europe's premier club competition. Will Mohamed Salah be back for Liverpool's next match after AFCON's semi-final loss? Mohamed Salah's hopes of finally clinching the Africa Cup of Nations were dashed on Wednesday evening when Senegal achieved a 1-0 win over Egypt in the semifinals, but he will not play in Liverpool's next match. Everything you need to know about Mohamed Salah's Liverpool return date as Egypt crash out of the AFCON Cup of Nations. Egypt crash out of AFCON. Salah was unable to make a difference for Egypt in their AFCON semifinal clash with Senegal on Wednesday evening, suffering a narrow 1-0 loss to miss out on a place in the final. Former teammate denied Salah. Sadio Mane was the man who scored the game-winning goal for Senegal, rifling the ball into the back of the net 78 minutes in. He and Salah were longtime teammates at Liverpool until Mane made the move to Bayern Munich in 2022. No return just yet despite loss. Egypt will now compete against either Nigeria or Morocco in a third-place playoff match. This fixture is slated for Saturday, January 17. Earliest possible return. As a result of the third-place playoff, Salah will not leave Morocco until after the match has played. This means he will likely return to Anfield between January 19 and 20, guaranteed to miss next Liverpool match. As a result of AFCON commitments, Salah will definitely miss Liverpool's Premier League game with Burnley on Saturday, January 17. Champions League doubts. Liverpool also face Marseille in the Champions League on Wednesday, January 21st. However, depending on travel time, he could be unavailable for the fixture at the Stade Velodrome. Most likely return. Salah is most likely to be available for Liverpool's game against Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium on Saturday, January 24. Back fit and available. 4 days later, Liverpool play host to Qarabağ in the Champions League. It's a game Salah is almost certain to be available for selection for.
Conor Bradley breaks silence on serious knee injury as Liverpool star undergoes surgery. Conor Bradley says his Liverpool comeback starts now after undergoing surgery on his season-ending knee injury. The Northern Ireland international suffered the issue when hooking clear in the closing stages of last week's goalless draw with Arsenal, and after leaving the Emirates on crutches later that night, further assessments on Friday confirmed the worst. Bradley has not suffered anterior cruciate ligament damage, but the injury is still serious enough to end his campaign early, and head coach Arne admitted it was an enormous blow for both the club and the player after the 4-1 win over Barnsley in the FA Cup on Monday. And after going under the knife this week, Bradley has now posted on social media for the first time since the injury, saying, "A big blow, but surgery is done, so the comeback starts now. It won't be for a little while, but I already can't wait to get back playing for Liverpool and Northern Ireland. Thanks for all the support." Liverpool have refused to place a timescale on how long the Northern Ireland defender will be sidelined for, but the expectation is that he won't feature again at Anfield this term, leaving Slot with just Jeremy Frimpong, the versatile Joe Gomez, and academy defender Calvin Ramsey to choose from at right back. Dominic Szoboszlai has also filled in several times this term in the unfamiliar role, but Slot conceded after the win over the Tykes on Monday that the option was not an ideal solution long-term. First of all, let's talk about Bradley, because Trent Alexander-Arnold is leaving and Conor Bradley already replaced him a few times last season really well. And the year before I came, he also had a good spell, Slot said. He felt, and I felt the same, this is going to be your time, and he missed so many games already because of mainly hamstring issues, and coming back from that, and being in a team, progressing, getting better and better, staying fit, and then something like this happens. In a season before it started where he thought, this has to be my season, and I thought the same. To maybe play 6, 7, or 8 games is a big blow for him, and I also think about Northern Ireland trying to reach the World Cup. So it is an enormous blow for him, but as a result of that, it is a big blow for us as well, because I hope you don't think I would like to play Dominic Szoboszlai as a right fullback. Arsenal forward Gabriel Martinelli came under fire after Bradley's injury for initially throwing the ball at the stricken Reds man before attempting to remove him from the pitch in stoppage time of the draw. Gunners star Martinelli took to social media a few hours later to reveal he had messaged Bradley to offer an apology.
Danny Murphy points at bigger picture in new Alexander Isak transfer verdict. The former Liverpool midfielder has called for patience and believes Liverpool's record signing will begin to repay the faith shown in him by Anfield bosses last summer. Danny Murphy has said Liverpool will not regret the decision to sign Alexander Isak, despite his difficult start to life at Anfield. The striker has managed just 2 Premier League goals since his record-breaking $125 million or 168 M switch from Newcastle United in September, and has also struggled with fitness issues. He arrived unable to play after essentially missing an entire summer of preparation, and then suffered a groin injury in October. Following his recovery, the Swede played in 8 consecutive matches from mid-November, but suffered a broken leg while scoring the winning goal against Tottenham Hotspur in the Reds' final fixture before Christmas. Isak is not expected back for another few months, and so far he has represented poor value on the extravagant transfer fee Liverpool paid last summer. The situation is only exacerbated by Hugo Ekitike's excellent start to life at Anfield, with the Frenchman netting 12 times this season. Ekitike essentially joined as Isak's backup, and fans have understandably questioned whether the Reds would have been better served by signing just one number 9 last summer. However, that's not a view shared by Murphy. I don't think Liverpool would do it differently because their belief in their working method is focused on the bigger long-term picture, the former Liverpool midfielder said via Boyle Sports. I agree that Hugo Ekitike has surpassed the expectations of probably even the recruitment team and Liverpool staff. However, to be the best team in England and Europe, you need brilliant attacking players. Perhaps their thinking was that those two players could share the load, given the number of games played now. Also, Ekitike has the capability of playing wide and as a number 10, and we might have seen him more in wider areas had Alexander Isak stayed fitter for longer or hit the ground running. So, I don't think they'd look back and change it now. I believe it was a strategic plan for the next 4 or 5 years of the club, not just one season. Obviously, nobody anticipated what has happened with Isak, but all in all, they should be genuinely happy and content with the risk they took on Ekitike, because he is clearly a super talent and already a favorite with the fans. As I said, it's a long-term plan. They need both of those players moving forward, especially when considering them both at their best, whether Ekitike is starting wide or as a number 10 or coming off the bench for Isak. Liverpool aim to be in the latter stages of 4 competitions every season. I think that's why they made the decision, and I believe it will pay dividends in the end.
Liverpool suffered enormous UEFA Champions League blow. Liverpool have suffered an enormous blow to their UEFA Champions League hopes. The Reds are going through it this season. Liverpool aren't winning the Premier League this season. That much is clear at this point. Their form this season hasn't been good enough, with the Reds suffering their worst run in 70 years at one stage. Things have improved since then, but Liverpool are hardly flying. But there's still a chance in the UEFA Champions League. Liverpool's form hasn't been great in that either, but they've got an opportunity to compete as long as they get out of the league stage. Though there's an extra reason why pushing on to win the competition could be valuable. Liverpool are in danger of not qualifying for next year's edition, such as their place in the Premier League. Now, it's likely that finishing in the top 5 is enough. Liverpool are 4th, but also 8 points behind 3rd-placed Aston Villa. Either point beneath them, 14th-placed Tottenham Hotspur. The Reds are far from confirmed to be playing in the Champions League next season. With that in mind, recent news is a real blow to those chances. Liverpool's injury crisis. Liverpool have suffered injury problems this season, with Giovanni Leone ruled out for the campaign early on. Alexander Isak is out indefinitely too, after his leg fracture. But we'd argue that the latest injury is the biggest blow. Conor Bradley is out for the season with a knee injury, one that has required surgery. It's an injury that creates a lot of issues. Jeremy Frimpong is the natural replacement at right back, but he's been used as a winger in Mo Salah's absence. On top of that, his injury record hasn't been good this season. It's frequently seen Dominic Sobozali play right back, with Curtis Jones playing a couple of games there too. Only Arne Slot has made Liverpool more solid recently by packing the midfield. He can't do that properly if he's having to drag options out to right back, not without running midfielders into the ground anyway. Joe Gomez is another option out there, but then he's needed to cover at center back as Leone is out. Gomez's injury record is another that hasn't been great too. It's difficult to see how Slot manages this situation comfortably. He needs to keep Liverpool competitive in the Premier League and Champions League for the rest of the season, but with limited options. The Athletic suggests there won't be incoming signings to ease things up. Is that a mistake?